A lot can happen in a week. Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it downright ugly. When faced with intriguing developments in the week's news, we turn to a rotating panel of non-experts to parse the good, the bad, and the ugly of it all. On today's panel, Jessica Brown, co-director of Station Theater, Joyce Sowing, news columnist for the Houston Chronicle, and David Branham, professor of political science at the University of Houston downtown. Jessica, Joy, David, welcome to Houston Matters.
Hi, Craig.
Happy to be here.
Thank you.
Panel, it's an all-sign-stealing edition of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly today. First, sadly, contentious elections can bring out the worst in some people. A perennial example, sometimes folks will steal campaign signs right off of their neighbors' yards. It's illegal, it's trespassing and theft, and depending on how many of them you steal, you could be in a heap of trouble if you're caught, which is what's playing out in Springfield, Missouri, where last weekend, Laura McCaskill, tired of seeing Harris Wall's campaign signs taken from her yard, placed an Apple AirTag tracker on one sign, and when it was stolen, tracked it to the trunk of a car filled with nearly 60 others. She called the police and shared video of her confrontation with the alleged thief on social media. A number of her neighbors who believe some of those signs were stolen from their yards have also complained to police. At last check, no charges, though, against the apparent thief have been filed. If this sounds at all familiar, it may be because a similar incident occurred in 2022 in Pennsylvania when an AirTag tracker led police to a dumpster full of more than 100 campaign signs. A Missouri woman, tired of seeing her campaign sign stolen, tracks one down using an Apple AirTag and confronts the would-be thief, spreading it far and wide to shame them on social media. Is this good, bad, or ugly? Jessica Brown.
Wow, this is an interesting one. Honestly, I think that it's ugly. You know, I'm glad that she was able to put the tag in it and track it, but you know, why have we gotten to this point? And also that feels like so much effort to steal so many yard signs. And I'm wondering, aside from showing your support, does it have a lot of impact on people choosing, or have we all kind of made up our minds at this point? You know, it's so interesting to me that someone is going to take all of this effort to steal signs out of people's yards. You know, I mean, I know that I've seen signs that I want because they're very cool. I saw someone that has something, I think it was called Doing the Harris County Waltz, which I thought was really clever. And I was like, I want to find where that sign is. But, you know, it doesn't enter my mind to steal someone's sign out of their yard. You know, how do you get to the point where you're so frustrated or angry or whatever it is that you feel like you have to steal something out of someone's yard? It's something I just don't quite understand, but it's kind of ugly for sure.
All right, good, bad, or ugly, David Branham.
Oh, I agree. It's ugly. It's a poison that we have in our politics now, that we're not able to tolerate people we don't like. And it gets to the point where you get so angry that you do something that's really stupid that has absolutely zero impact on the results of the election. The whole sign thing is kind of weird to me. I've never studied that closely, but it seems that the impact of a sign has something to do with the person who holds it. For instance, if there's a person that's just not well liked at all in the neighborhood and they got that sign in their yard, that's probably a sign that the candidate doesn't want in your yard because people look at that person and say, that ugly person's voting for them. I'm not voting for them now. So that happens all the time where the effectiveness of a sign isn't that effective. And for you to just steal it is just crazy. One thing that I think is very important in a democracy is that you have tolerance for people's opinions that are not the same as your own. It's I used to have a professor who said that tolerance was how you treated your least liked group. And he did a lot of studies on it. He said, who is your least liked group? How do you treat them? If you're stealing their sign out of their yard, then that's going over the top. Now, this professor didn't really like his least liked group very much. He wasn't very tolerant of them at all. So I'm not sure what exactly he was getting at. But in a democracy, you have to be tolerant of other people, the people who have an opposite opinion of you. And I think it's important that you not only be tolerant of them, that you listen to them, so that you'll have their ear as well. And most of the time, the best way to have a good dialogue and have some influence is to be a person who listens to other people. So I would say listen to other people. Don't steal their signs. Stealing their signs is the ultimate not listening to other people. I heard what you said, and I'm going to douse it into the trash can, set it on fire, and make sure that it's never said again. And that's not democracy.
I'm sorry, what were you saying? All right.
There's a fire behind Craig right now.
Good, bad, or ugly, Joyce
Oh,
Owen?
absolutely ugly. And it's also an ugly way to teach children how to not steal. We're trying to raise children who have values and everything, and then you have something like this where they're stealing signs and seems so elementary, but I don't even expect my elementary school children to act in such a nasty manner. I will say that tagging that air tag on the poster was brilliant. Mm-hmm. I will give her that. I put tags in my luggage. I put tags everywhere. So I think that's very smart. But stealing signs, I think, is just, like you said, it's a sad state of where we are in our politics. It's a sad state of where we are in our values. And it's not a way to teach children. I want to say another thing about signs. I wish politicians who had their signs put out before the election would pick them up after the election.
Absolutely.
Can I just say that? Because I can't tell you how many signs litter our neighborhood months after the election is over. So I just want to say that.
Yeah, you can say that again.
Okay. Pick up your signs. Okay.
Exactly.
After the
Second
election's over, pick up your signs.
If you're a precinct chair doing an election, if you're an election judge, make sure all the signs are picked up before you leave that night. I know it's hard. Yeah. Go out and pick up those signs because it has an impact on where we get to vote. Right. If you leave those signs behind and leave them trash, say you're in a church or something like that, and they come in the next day and see all that trash, they're going to say, no, you're not voting here anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So take care of our voting locations so that we'll have good voting locations.
Right.
Can I broaden that to say leave places the way you found them?
100%.
Pick up after yourself generally in this world, please.
Another value for children.
There you go.
For a golfer who's in a sand trap a lot, I'll say, leave it the way you found it.
Yeah.
You replace your divots all the time, right?
Exactly.
Or
Rake
make
your
it
sand
a better
trap.
place than when you left it. Make it a better
Well,
place.
that's even better.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We still find gum on chairs at our theater.
Oh, come on.
And it's adults that come to our theater.
Who does that?
I might have left a stick there.
It was chewed.
Okay.
It was chewed. I don't think you would do that.
Yeah, he doesn't do that because he said stick, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Give it away.
Panel, the World Series starts tonight and pits the Los Angeles Dodgers against the New York Yankees. It's been 15 years since the Bronx Bombers were last in the World Series. When asked about that gap on the MLB Network's High Heat program this week, Yankees general manager Brian Cashman just couldn't help but get in a dig about the Houston Astros, remarking, quote, "I hate the 15-year thing because it completely forgets and discounts that some other organization cheated us when we were all the way in the end. If you knew what was going on, I don't think they would be advancing. I think we would have been advancing." Cashman was referring to the electronic sign stealing scandal during the Astros championship run in 2017. He conveniently neglected to mention that his club also was found by Major League Baseball to be using electronic devices to steal signs the 2 seasons before the Astros, that the only player named by MLB's report on the Astros scandal, Carlos Beltran, had played for those very Yankees in that season before and was a driving force in the Astros efforts, or that the Yankees were fined by Major League Baseball for their cheating, though skirted any further punishment, and to be fair, may not have cheated on the same scale as the Astros did the next season. It's 2024. The Yankees are in the World Series starting tonight, and their GM's still relitigating 2017. Is this good, bad, or ugly? I turn to the baseball fan, David Branham.
I am a baseball fan. I'm not a fan of the Yankees. But, I was really thinking, is there any way that both teams can lose the World Series? And I couldn't figure that out. So I actually think I have somebody to root for now because, like Jesus said, he who is without sin can throw the first stone. Brian Cashman, you are not qualified to throw stones because you're a cheater yourself with the Yankees. And you have no business complaining about this. He hasn't done anything since Joe Torre was manager. He's been a pathetic GM. And the reason why is because he's got the largest market. He's got the most money. He can buy players left and right, and they still can't win. So congratulations, Brian, for actually finally getting to the World Series. Now I'm going to hope that you lose it. And I never thought I would root for the Dodgers, but guess what? I'm rooting for the Dodgers just because of this statement right here. In fairness, baseball has always been a sport where cheating is kind of part of the culture. When I was growing up, we had Don Sutton, Gaylord Perry, spitballs, all of that. That was part of baseball. And so I think that's what happened in the cheating scandal with all teams. They thought, oh, we can get away with this. We're going to do it. It wasn't really bad culturally to do that. I kind of say, okay, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's the way it is in baseball. That's changed since this scandal. But Brian Cashman has no business throwing stones when he's just as big a cheater as anybody else. So, Brian, go cry in your beer after Game 7.
Speaking of high heat, wow.
Well, at least the Dodgers have the best stadium in baseball. So, hey, by the way, if you're in L.A., do yourself a favor and go to Dodger Stadium one time. It's fantastic.
All right. Good, bad, or ugly, Joy?
Well, seeing as though I'm not a baseball fan, that's not my sport. Again, I'm going to bring it back to the children. How are children supposed to learn good sportsmanship and not to cheat when we have all these cheating scandals around? I just don't understand. So I think I'm a side with David, but I just think that just all the talk about cheating just makes it really hard to teach children good values about sportsmanship and not to cheat. So that's how I feel about it.
A pox on all houses.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good, bad, or ugly, Jessica?
I feel like we lost an opportunity to use the phrase "cast the first pitch" for some reason. I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely with David and Joy on this one. I think that it's bad that it happened. All of the information that you put in the intro, I love that because it shows that people are passionate about it, and Astros fans are incredibly loyal. I have so many friends who, are just like, whatever, you did it too kind of thing. But the fact that he's still holding on to this after how many years? Was it like 7 years?
Now. Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's time for the 7-year stretch. Let it go. But, I feel like there's a lot of other things that we can focus on. But again, I also agree with Joy. I mean, set some precedents that, people can look up to you. We're supposed to, we'd like to think that we can look up to our major league players. And I know that there are some that we can, some that we can't. But, it's supposed to be fun. And, stuff like this just takes a lot of the fun away. So that's where I stand with that one.
Watching Jose Altuve hit that home run off Chapman, it was neck high, 101 mile an hour fastball, and he jacked it about 450 feet. That was fun. You'll never be able to take that fun away from me. That was fun.
No one wants to take your fun away from you. We want you to have more fun.
Yankees keep suffering. I want you to think about it, Yankee fans. Every time you start thinking about the Astros, think of Jose Altuve jacking that ball off of Chapman.
Yep.
Your best pitcher.
David Branham is a professor of political science at the University of Houston downtown. Jessica Brown is co-director of Station Theater. Joy Sewing is a news columnist for the Houston Chronicle. David, Jessica, Joy, thank you all very much.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.